Hello everybody, welcome to Collab Investments. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. So today, let's continue to talk about 401k and Roth 401k. Okay, for these two accounts, there is a common belief that if your tax rate stays the same after you retire, then both are identical. And then if this is true, after you retire, if you get a lower tax rate, then 401k becomes better. Okay, let's check whether this common belief is correct. So for 401k, the investment you put it in now is pre-tax. It's your full income without paying any tax. And then after some time, it grew by a certain amount. So assume there's a return, certain amount of return, like 10x. And then it will increase by 10x. And now, after you retire, you would need to withdraw the money. At that time, you need to pay tax because any amount you withdrawed is your regular income. So your total would be income times return. That's how much you have in your 401k, and times the part that after you pay the tax. Okay, so that's for 401k. And now let's look at Roth 401k. So with Roth, you first take income tax out. So the income you're investing is less. And after that, it will grow. So income times 1 minus tax rate, that's the amount you have in your Roth 401k. You times the return, you get the total. So if you compare these two values, it looks the same, whether you time the return first or the last. The end result are the same. And let's use an example to illustrate. So assume there's a green person and a blue person. And for a green person, it invests in 401k. It starts with 20k today. And then after retirement, the investment grew by 10x. So there's 200k left. Assume the tax rate is 50%, just to keep it simple. And then when you sell, you withdraw the money and pay the tax, you get 100k left. On the other hand, for the Roth 401k, you start with 20k income, but you have to pay tax first. So after tax, you get half, you get 10k. And then at retirement, it also increased by 10x to 100k. And you withdraw this 100k, it's completely tax-free, so you get everything back. The final amount is also 100k. So based on this calculation, the common belief looks like to be true. But is it really true? Let's look at it at a different way. So in the previous example, the Roth 401k, you only invested 10k. But if you invest as much as you can to Roth 401k, the result can be very different. And my conclusion, the short answer is, if the tax rate after retirement is the same, then Roth 401k will be much, much better. So now let's look at the example to see. We still have a green person, and we also have a blue person. We assume the tax rate is still 50%, and we can contribute up to 20k to either 401k or Roth 401k. And assume we start with double the amount. We start with 40k pre-tax income. And the return on investment is also 10x. Okay, so now let's look at the blue person first. because this is a very simple case. So the blue person only invest in Roth 401k. It starts with 40k regular income, but income tax must be paid first. So 40k becomes 20k after 50% cut. And this 20k is in the Roth 401k. After some number of years, it increased to 200k. And this is your tax-free money you can use. So if you withdraw, you get 200k. That's your final amount. Okay, so now let's look at the green person. The green person starts with 40k pre-tax income, which is the same as the blue person. But because 401k can only hold 20k, so the person has another 20k regular income left. And for the first 20k, it's invested into the 401k and grew to 200k. At the end, after retirement, it's withdrawal, but you have to pay the income tax of 50%. So you have to pay it, and you only get half, which is 100k. For the regular income, because you still have 20k regular income left, you have a regular brokerage account. So you can invest the money left. For the 20k pre-tax money, you first need to pay income tax so that you only have half left. So that's 10k. And this 10k will also grow into 100k in your regular brokerage account. So that's a taxable account. And now you have a capital gain of 100k minus 10k, which is 90k. And later when you have to sell it, you also need to pay tax. So this 100k, after you pay tax on the capital gain, the 90k capital gain, you pay half, which is 45k. So you have 55k left. So overall, the green person has 155k, which is much less than the blue person. So the intuition behind this is because Roth 401k is a bigger bucket. It can hold a lot more money and allow the money to grow tax-free. So this is contrary to the common belief. And you may ask, well, would the tax rate really stay the same after retirement? Maybe I will get lower tax rate. So when the tax rate drop, what will happen? Let's talk about that next time. Thank you. Bye.